everyone. Welcome to From Shambles to Shambhala. I'm Zia, and this time we have Zippy with us. Zippy is my fish, and she is an algae eater, and I really wish they would find a better name than just a mere algae eater, because she's so much more than that. She likes to hide. She'll probably come and go throughout this introduction, but I just wanted her to be a part of it because usually Sophie's on here, my lovebird, and she is around, and she might pop in at any time, so just to let you know. Yeah, she's around. But I just wanted to share Zippy with you as well because she's just a beautiful fish and incredibly intuitive, and she loves to communicate. In fact, if you blink at her, she will blink back. And I know fish don't blink officially, but she has this thing that she does with her eyes that looks very much like a blink. And first of all, I would love to just say thank you so much to those of you who wrote in after last month's episode and with your support and your very kind words and sharing in regards to what I was sharing last time. I was able to make it to New Brunswick to visit my mom and have an amazing family reunion in August, and I'm so grateful. It was the first time my whole family had been together in my hometown in decades. Absolutely no problems with traveling. It was just like this magnificent window opened up. There were a few weeks, and we were able to get my mom down to the cottage for an afternoon, and her whole family was there, her 3 daughters and her son, and we had a beautiful time. She watched us go swimming, and we had a barbecue and a wonderful celebration. So I am just feeling so full and grateful and happy that we had that opportunity. I feel like it filled my tank for this next part, and I'm ready to go. And speaking of which, we have just come through the autumn equinox here in the northern hemisphere and the spring equinox in the southern hemisphere. And the equinoxes are all about finding balance, so especially this year when we're experiencing so much polarization in the world. As we move into Libra, who shows us that balance and harmony, and also shows us the other and reminds us of the other, to take that mirror and turn it back on ourselves to see where the other's showing up in here. And last week we had a wonderful giveaway celebration and ceremony out at Raven's Bridge, and that was very special and really perfect for the equinox and for Libra. The giveaway ceremony allows us to experience the spirit of reciprocity and balance, and the giving away and then the receiving. And when we give away those things that are the most precious to us, as we were asked to do, we open this magical space up inside our lives to receive. And so it was a beautiful ceremony, a lot of really deep sharing, and lots and lots of laughter. I think that's it for me for now. And Sophie has not made an appearance, so just one sec, I'm going to see if she will grace us with our presence for a moment. Since we are in Libra, the air sign, let's see if I can bring in the bird. Say hi to the people. Here she is, Sophie and Zippy, my 2 babies. We'll turn you over to Peter, who's got a lot to say in regards to what's happening astrologically and through the gene keys. So he'll shed some light on what's coming up in October.
Hi everybody, Peter here. Welcome to the equinox season. Last month I talked about the ring of alchemy and the 4 gene keys involved in that. And just before the equinox, we stepped into the last day of the last gene key, the 6th gene key, just 2 days before the equinox kicked in. And that brought the Ring of Alchemy to completion, but it's a perfect opening into the next set of gene keys just before we move into the equinox, and I'll just mention that in a moment. But that equinox point is when we move out of the sign of Virgo, the earth element, and up and out into the air sign of Libra. And the Libra are the scales, the balance, and the balancing act of the sixth gene key is the relationship between the masculine and feminine energies within ourselves and within our relationships. So as we move through this next phase, it's important in this time of Libra to get this balance, and the balance is between having our own needs met, my needs, and the needs of the other, and finding that balance between the two so we can be in this peaceful space within ourselves and in our relationships with the other. And the city of that sixth gene key is peace. So then we do move into the equinox, that turning point from Virgo to Libra, and now this is the 3-month period moving from the equinox in the fall season in the northern hemisphere and moving into the winter solstice, which takes us right down into the depths of the cave. So over this 3-month period, what we're supposed to be doing is just letting things settle in and move deeper and deeper into ourselves, shedding all that no longer serves us, letting go into what is our true core stability. And so that leads us into the 4 gene keys that make up what is called the Ring of Matter. And these 4 keys are really, really significant because they are the keys that represent the first 21 years of life, from the moment of conception through the time that we are in the womb, and then coming out into the world in the first 7 years where we are developing our connection to our physical body, and then moving into the next 7 years, our emotional body now developing, our relationships, our connection to other people in our lives, and then moving into the EQ, the IQ comes next, where we're connecting in through our mental body and beginning to develop our mental abilities. And so the 4 gene keys involved don't go in that order. It begins with the 46th gene key, which is the SQ, the first 7 years of life, basically saying to us, do we feel safe being in our physical bodies in the world, both as a young child in those first 7 years, but also today. So following on from the 46th gene key in the sequences, we come to the 18th gene key, and this 18th gene key is the time as we're now developing that mental ability, and it's the time when you're supposed to be a rebellious teenager. And the rebellion is to discover what your own true values are, rather than the values that you've grown up with your parents and your schooling and the people around you. So if you don't go through a rebellion in your teenage years, then you may still be living the lives of those people that had influence over you as a young child. So we are supposed to go through this rebellion, through this 18th gene key, to get really clear on who we are and what our values are. Then we go into the 48th gene key, which is the gene key of our emotional body development. And the 48th gene key is asking the question, can I cope with whatever's coming next and I don't know what it is? So I'm moving away from my family connections and into my peer group, my friends, and we're going through this time of puberty from the age 8 to 14, and all these changes are taking place inside us. So there is this sense of inadequacy that comes up. Am I going to be able to cope with what's coming? And if we don't deal with that at that time successfully, then that can still be playing a role in our lives now. And then the 4th gene key of the Ring of Matter is the 57th gene key, and this is the time that we spend in our mother's womb when we are developing right from the moment of conception to the moment of birth. And so during this time we are integrating, we are incarnating into a physical form from pure consciousness. And so what we're doing during this time is picking up our mother's fear frequencies, whatever is her concern, her worry when she's pregnant with us. And we pick that frequency up, which makes us oversensitized to the collective frequencies. So in this time of chaos and agitation in the world today, it may well be that you're picking up those collective frequencies from all those people around you and what's happening in the world, and it's not actually yours. So it's important for you to get very clear now on what is yours and what's everybody else's. So this is the perfect time then for us to be taking a deep dive into our childhood development. If we received good parenting and a good environment as we move through our childhood, then we reach the age of 21 at the end of the 18th gene key, and we are now a mature adult coping well in the world. If along the way we had challenges, we had traumas, we had parenting that was not the right one for us, if there was some dysfunctionality or a divorce or a separation along the way, any form of abuse, then it means that our emotional development could have arrested at that point, and that is still playing a role now in our adult lives. So we may appear to be an adult, but parts of us, aspects of us, are still behaving in a childlike way. So this next 3 weeks or so, as we move through the equinox for the next 3 weeks, is a great opportunity for us to be looking deeply inside ourselves, going back into our childhood and eking out any of those frequencies that may be holding us back for our future unfoldment, for us to move forward in a graceful, centered, calm way into the future. So I hope this is helpful for you, and that you will take the opportunity to look inside yourself, to bring yourself to this wholeness, to this completion, as we move through this time of the equinox, heading towards the winter solstice, and setting some intentions for yourself of what you would like to achieve over this next 3 month period. And I wish you well with your endeavours.